Ms. Mathur, let me begin with you. A policy was brought in by the government of Delhi under your biggest leader, who was Chief Minister of Delhi, and the policy was withdrawn. What did you find dubious in the policy, regardless of who did it, when they did it, that it was worth withdrawing? What was the problem?
Thanks. On your show as well, we have actually discussed the policy in great detail. I will re-emphasize that we do stand by the policy, but there were problems in it in terms of how we were unable to implement it. There was also bad feedback from the public, and as any government should, a policy that's not well received can be withdrawn, but mostly because it was just becoming very difficult for the officers to operate because there's so much pressure to withdraw the policy, and on this case, because there was an opportunity for the BJP to fabricate a case. That is one. The other thing is that, as the Honorable Supreme Court observed today, and Justice Khanna commented, which is very important, that it is the purview of any elected government to come up with a policy. Now, that policy we may think might be, a little more in support of business or not, or it may have some flaws or not, but it may be good for something or not. All that is debatable. How does that lead to any evidence of corruption? Until now, the prosecution has not been able to find evidence, and which is what the Honorable Supreme Court observed today as well. That none of this, all this, okay, fine, you don't like the policy, you think this is dubious, you think this is good or bad or whatever, but none of this actually proves corruption. Does not stand.
All right. So let me stop you there, because we'll take it one question at a time. I remember having the exact same conversations when the 2G case was heard about between policy and corruption. Okay. So now let me ask you a straightforward question. Is Sanjay Singh a man who's been making money either for himself or for your party?
No, obviously not. And thank you for the question and giving me the opportunity to, answer this honestly. And I'm saying it in all honesty and earnesty, that there is no question of a person like Mr. Sanjay Singh being involved in any such mess. You have to see the kind of family that, the reason why I bring it up is that, if you saw on television his father yesterday, is a hardworking teacher who goes on to raise a son who he sacrificed sort of for the country. So there is no question of him being involved in any such thing. On the contrary, Mr. Sanjay Singh is one of the most vocal parliamentarians, not only raising his voice for justice for Aam Aadmi Party, but constantly raising voice for anybody who is marginalized, for anybody who is suffering, or anybody facing injustice. That is who Sanjay Singh is. And because he very bravely exposes, his opponents, because he was suspended from the Rajya Sabha also. So, no, certainly not.
All right. So, let us assume for a minute, ma'am, for the sake of argument, that he is a personally honest man. But politics is an expensive business. It's an expensive vocation. It's an expensive profession. When you have to conduct elections, there are expenses. There can be pressures to create revenue, monies for the party. Can you confidently say that a Sanjay Singh or any others in your party have not been under pressure to illegally raise funds for the party, regardless of how they were raised?
Rishabhji, I'll certainly answer that question. If only you will first ask the BJP representative here, how are their elections?
No, I'm going to. I'm doing it one at a time. I'm going to.
How does the BJP manage to buy, sell MLAs? How does the BJP manage to build this 5-star hotel of a party office? How does the BJP manage to, run elections in so many states and with so much might and power? And I will, but we are the smaller party.
So let me quote back to you, because I will ask them. Okay, there was a time when I remember, ma'am, I will, but I don't want you to pass the buck on them, because I will ask exactly these questions. I want you to answer the question.
And I will answer right after they do. I will answer right after.
No, I'm doing this one at a time, ma'am. So I'm going to finish talking to you, then I'm going to speak with the BJP representative. We'll do it one at a time so that we can hear each other out. Otherwise, counter talk happens. So, look, is there any pressure in the party to raise funding for elections, all party workers, of course, senior leaders?
I mean, well, this is a very, I have to tell you that this is a very simple answer for me to give. And I obviously say, yes, there is pressure. The BJP has really, ruined Indian politics with the kind of might, money, and a lot of, illegal tricks that they have used, they have been employing. Having said that, we do have all kinds of candidates. Some of them the party support, some of them have more resources, they support themselves. We are doing fine. We are a small party.
All right. So my next question to you, ma'am, is that you would recall at the very beginning of Arvindji's political career, under a previous government, he himself personally was put under a lot of pressure. I remember there were questions asked about the nature of his retirement from the services. Fines were put on him. And I remember he had come out and said some 20-30 lakhs had been demanded of him in penalties from the government. And his roommates from IIT, his batchmates had come and contributed to make up the amount. And he released a list that you're putting pressure, and this was under a different government, who personally put him under pressure, went after him personally, and he said, okay, I'll pay back whatever needs to be paid, and my friends and classmates and roommates are helping me out, cover the difference. This time around, as politics has progressed, are you confident about the transparency about the party and how it generates revenue?
Absolutely. Absolutely. At least we have all our, transactions in a clean way to show. And I'm saying this with a sincere request, Rishabh. You must ask this question first to the BJP.
I will be.
But that must be answered first by the BJP, the party that is more powerful, the party that is more mighty, the party that is in the center for the last 10 years, the party that is accusing small parties of, random crimes. I mean, I'm sorry, but it is not fair.
Okay. No. I'll doing this one at a time. Okay. So my next question, Ms. Mathur. For a party that professes persecution despite a clean record, which genesis was based on anti-corrupt practices, how do you fit comfortably by the only political person of a senior level to be convicted of corruption in this country, who is now technically in your alliance, Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav? How do you sit comfortably on the same dais with that person?
You see, there is no question that in the India alliance, and everybody has said it in very clear terms, that we have differences. It's not that we support each other on every cause. In fact, in states, we fight bitterly. And that is the nature of a federal democracy. There is no that's not difficult to understand. But in extraordinary circumstances, in a federal democracy, coalitions also happen. And they work for the larger good, for what this India alliance believes to be larger good. We believe that at this point, a person who's accused of something, the law should take its course. If they're convicted, they should be punished. There is no reason to dispute that. But at the same time, are we going to save the country, or are we going to just have our own? We are in the game of politics. You have to understand this. We are in a federal.
All right. So politics requires compromise sometimes and deals with the devil sometimes. Okay.
But politics requires going beyond your, worrying about your image and saving the country. Good politics requires, talking about education and health.
Okay, but he's the only person ever been convicted at a highest level. Okay. So my follow-up question to you, ma'am, is there any chance that just perhaps there were some illegalities? Maybe the senior leadership was unaware of them. Maybe they were not personally corrupt. Maybe that was not their intent. But at some level, perhaps some money was being made by someone which you are not aware of, you are not complicit in, but something could have gone wrong, or do you think that nothing went wrong? Nobody even at the outlet level did anything illegal?
See, first, it's not my place to comment because one, it is sub judice, and two, we really don't know where the crime has happened. As I mentioned earlier, the Honorable Supreme Court has made a very clear observation today. They said that, it is very hard to now convict or even really see the person as actually being accused or having committed a crime when there is no crime? Where is the corruption? We are denying absolutely that there is any corruption. We are saying, look, the policy was there, it was a bad policy, according to some, so many problems happened, we took it back, but where is the corruption? So as far as we are concerned, there is no, there is nothing that has been done either by our government or by our leadership. And that is also what the Supreme Court held today.
All right. Okay. I'll end it on this thought, ma'am. For people who would reasonably think that, listen, where there is smoke, there generally is some fire, okay? It's liquor, it's oftentimes run by cartels and dodgy businesses. And, there are suspicions of netas as it is, regardless of which party they come in. Now, are we seriously telling people that the ED for the past better part of 1 year has just been concocting one thing after the other with no basis in fact whatsoever, that 3 of your senior leaders are in jail and nothing ever happened?
It's very interesting. Actually, the more that the BJP is attacking us, I think in terms of public perception, it's helping our cause. Because the people of this country also know that every year we lose hundreds of lives in Gujarat because of food tragedies. The people of this country also know that the liberal policies of BJP-run states like Karnataka, formerly Karnataka, and Goa have actually had very, have promoted the business of alcohol and so on. So, and the fact that they have, the way we are being persecuted, the way we are being cornered, it makes our case very easy in terms of public perception. Anybody we go and speak on the street says, "Ye log to bahut mighty hain, ye log to bahut powerful hain, in logon ko ye to chhodenge nahi."
Okay.
Aap log. So, the smoke
if something is found, now you place everybody at a high standard, and I'm expecting you place yourself and your party leader, but if something were to be found which is legitimate, would you then either disown these leaders and the illegitimate activities that they might have conducted?
Well, hypothetically, if it was found like it was found today, we're still looking for evidence against these leaders. But if this continues and the agencies are not able to find any evidence, would Mr. Modi resign? Would Amit Shah resign? So these are hypothetical situations. We would like to think that there is nothing wrong that we have done. Therefore, the question of disowning anybody does not arise.
Okay, all right. Fair enough. I've asked you the tough questions. You presented your best argument which you could in the defense of your party. The bottom line is that Sanjay Singh is in under 5 days of ED remand, and like I said, public perception on this matters. Going in and out of jail is part and parcel of politics, ladies and gentlemen, and whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, we leave it to your public perception.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.